Welcome to EpiCityX. iPhone 16 models are out and I have here the iPhone 16 Pro Desert Titanium. Let's open it up and see how it looks. First, let's take a look at this packaging because Apple has announced that they're making changes to the packaging in order to meet their zero carbon goal for their supply chain by 2030. Per Apple, the packaging of iPhone 16s is 100% fiber-based for the first time, which makes it biodegradable. On its own though, it doesn't feel or look different from older packaging. Now, let's get to the fun part and peel off these stickers. Inside the box is the usual setup of packaging. First, we have the iPhone itself, and my first impression of this phone, it's quite eye-catching, although it does remind me of the rose gold color that we have seen in the older phones. But we'll come back to that later. Aside from the phone, the box includes a USB-C to C charger, and the cord is braided. There is also some paperwork. Noticeably missing are the Apple stickers. Oh, and if you're wondering, no, we still don't have the power brick included. Let's get back to the phone itself. Setting up the phone is as easy and intuitive as ever, although we do have a couple of new setting options. First one is for the action button. Although not new to the Pro models, this option is now available to all models including the 16 base models. You can set this button up to perform one of 10 available options or go to settings to assign additional tasks. I'll just leave it to perform the mute task. The second new setting comes with the much talked about capture button. At default, the button can be used to open camera. We'll talk about it more in just a minute. Alright, we're ready to start using the phone. And firstly, I am loving this new wallpaper. It goes perfectly with the desert color. But getting back to the color of the phone, my first thought is that it is gorgeous. Something about it is very simple, yet still quite lavish, even if it does closely resemble the rose gold color. What I love even more is how complementary the sides of this phone are. They add a very premium element to the overall look of this phone. On the right side, you've got the power and capture buttons. The other side has volume and capture button. Bottom is the same as older phones with the USB-C port and the speakers and the microphone. The back of course has the ever so prominent 3 large cameras and the Apple logo, which blends so much into the phone color that depending on your angle, you might completely miss. I'm not sure how I feel about that. iPhone 16 Pro has a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera, 48 megapixel fusion, and a 12 megapixel 5x telephoto. With the new upgrades to cameras, my favorite has to be the ultra-wide, particularly for the reason that it now allows high-resolution super close-up photos. This is crazy quality for a super close-up. Speaking of cameras, let's talk a bit more about the capture button. The capture button has 2 levels of clicks. The full click opens the camera and captures photos. There is a half click that almost reminds me of the haptic touch from iPhone 8. Double-clicking the half click opens camera options, while one half click lets you adjust settings of each option. As a hardware design, I mostly hold my phone in my right hand, so the button would sit in my palm, where I can't really feel it. In fact, if I wasn't using the button, it would be as though it's not even there. The button is placed perfectly for horizontal photography, giving the feel of using a real camera. I have yet to decide how useful I find this button, although it did make me think that technically, the volume buttons could partly perform the same function. Granted, they're not in the perfect camera angle and they are limited. Apple really went all out to make these new phones the top photography phones because the operating system upgrade includes a number of features, including the control pad that lets you adjust tone and color of pictures simultaneously. So a ton of new features in hardware and software, particularly for photography, that I'm really excited to dive deeper into. The size of iPhone 16 Pro has increased from last year's model by 0.2 inches, with a display size of 6.3 inches. The bezels are also thinner, which provides a slightly larger screen. The all-new A18 Pro chip on this phone is a significant upgrade and should help improve performance of this phone. But if you're using the phone for general browsing or social media, you might not notice a big difference, and that's because the performance enhancement is really built primarily to accommodate Apple Intelligence features, which will be launching incrementally in the coming weeks. Until then, gamers, this is all for you. Oh, and we can expect better battery life too. Overall, the iPhone 16 Pro actually comes with a lot of newness, but I'll need to spend some more time with it to know if it's worth upgrading to. I'll have my verdict on that question soon. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel. I appreciate your support and thank you for watching.